Hello everyone, White Stevie Wonder here. Today I wanted to come to you to talk about a little something that really rubs me the wrong way. Do you want to know what that is? It's when bad writers, who are bad at what they do and should feel bad about it, write a story that's just so unbelievably shit that they think that just by going into the cesspit of what makes them a human being and scooping up all the dark ooze, putting it in a bottle, and fucking splattering it over their creation like it's some sort of chemical X. Do you want to know what that is? It's taking edgy shit and pouring it all over their story. It sucks. I hate edgy stories. Now, let me tell you, there's a big difference between an edgy story and a dark story. A dark story knows when to quit. Whereas an edgy story, like, I don't know, a little recent redo of Healer, just maybe, doesn't know when to fucking let up. And it's very frustrating. Like, I've seen fan fiction that's better written than this shit. I fucking define! In a more general sense, I want to talk about how edgy stories are trash. And, like, the number one reason as to why they are trash, it directly links to the fact that they are edgy. And there's a big difference between a dark show and an edgy show. Well, I should rather say story. A dark story or an edgy story, right? You gotta follow me on this. Now, to show you what I mean, I need to compare three very good examples that fit into different categories, which will hopefully aid my point. Using edgy themes to make your story better is cheap. It's manipulative. It's like, wow, my story sucks ass. You know how I can elevate it? Just go into Professor X's laboratory, grab the grim dark bottle of ooze and just pour that all over my story. That'll make it great, right? Too much of anything is a bad thing. And that's what happens with edgy stories. When a story is edgy, it's too dark and it makes it dumb and childish. Now, onto those three shows. There's Berserk, Goblin Slayer, and Redo of Healer. All three of these shows are dark, right? Except only one of the three uses it correctly. And that is Berserk. Now, I know you're sitting there thinking, oh, ooh, what a generic answer, but Berserk got it right. It's a very dark show. Sometimes you may feel like it's going overboard. Maybe sometimes it does. But that's just an acceptable loss when it comes to a story that's built itself naturally and it flows into growing and expanding, and all of its characters grow as the plot progresses. When you look at Goblin Slayer, it's not trash. You can still watch it, you can still enjoy it, but it's cheap. It's manipulative, and it's, again, it's like, it's easy to just make something dark to try elevate it. It's cheap. It's very cheap. It's like, okay, so we have our character, Goblin Slayer. He slays goblins. Now, how do we make the show dark? Oh, right, let's just have the goblins rape people so we can get really upset at them, and then Goblin Slayer can kill them all, right? Except for the fact that that's all there is to Goblin Slayer. Wow, I slay goblins. Great character writing right there. Now, finally, the worst of these three is Redo of Healer, where there's nothing to it to enjoy other than the fact that it's a sexual fantasy. And you can't, do not try to argue with me otherwise. The only reason Redo of Healer exists is that it's something for you to take your sexual frustration out on. It's not well written. There's no characterization. Oh, whoop-de-doo, I got raped, I'm gonna go rape other people. Wow. Great character. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. IGN approves. Honestly. It's terribly written. And again, it tries to be dark, to be like, whoa, look guys, it's hip, it's cool, it's dark, it's got all these things to it that make it cool, right? No, it doesn't. It just makes it childish. It's like a 16-year-old who is upset that he's not having sex, writes the story. Oh, what if I just rape everyone? Ooh. It's tiring. It's very tiring. Like, you see this in fan fiction, man. Now look at it. It's in the mainstream. Again, I'm not here to tell people what they should and shouldn't make. Except I totally am. And what you should make is quality stuff before putting it out there. So to end this little rant, Berserk, good. Goblin Slayer, meh. Reader of Healer is absolute trash. And all three of them are stories that try to use dark themes to amplify themselves. Again, Berserk does it well. It sets itself up, it builds its characters, it takes time to, well, just be that, to be a story. Goblin Slayer, cheap. It's condensed. It's trying to take what makes Berserk great and condense it, which again, it makes it cheap and poor. Reader of Healer, there's nothing to it except all the sex. Like I already said, that's the only reason why you'd watch that show. And don't try to lie about it, boys. Don't even try to lie to me.